Thank you for your patience. We are now honored to invite Mr. Pankaj Agarawal, CEO of 태그하이브, to the stage to deliver the keynote speech for Aspac 2024. So please put your hands together in welcoming him.
안녕하세요. A very good morning to all of you. How many of you are in Korea for the first time? Wow. I'm sure you're loving the place. The weather is really awesome. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here today at the Aspac 24. I want to thank the organizers for having me. This year is special for me because I complete my 20 years in Korea. I came to Korea in 2004, and now we are here 2024, 20 years. So a lot of things have gone through in my journey, which I'll share a part of that in my speech. And I feel very honored and very humbled to spend a portion of this special year with all of you. So today's topic is the alchemy of education. And how do we create a future using technology and empathy? I'm sure you'll find the session very, very engaging and also magical. There is a magic performance that I'm trying to fit in this keynote, and I hope it works. Okay? When I do magic, people say, how? How did you get this magic? But my thing is, don't say how, say wow. Okay? So we'll do that in a moment. So before we go into the details of this topic, what alchemy means, what the future unfold, how the future will look like, I'll tell you a bit about myself first. So my journey started in India, in a small village in India. In fact, I'm a product of the alchemy of education because I come from a small village in India, and I went through a series of experiences, a series of educational experiences that made me who I am today. So my first foray into quality education was IIT in India, where I studied about technology for the first time. In India, when I was studying, I focused on theoretical technology, or theoretical problems. If you give me any problem, I'll solve that, but only in theory, only to pass the exams. And then in 2004, after I finished my undergrad in EE, I came to this land of morning calm, and I did my master's at the Seoul National University. At that point in time, I got introduced to the practical aspects of technology. If you will see today in this museum, you will see a lot of good practical prototypes. Please enjoy those prototypes. When I came to Korea, it was the first time I got a chance to work on cutting-edge technologies firsthand. You know, I used to work on the flat panel displays. At my point, when I was a master student, the TVs used to be this thick, if you recall. And my job was to make TVs finger slim. And how do I do that? I have to really continuously innovate, think of more ways. So I did that for 2 years in SNU, and then went to Samsung to work. When I joined Samsung, again, a new world of technology unfolded in front of me. The best part about working in Korea and working in Samsung was that I got exposed to a lot of challenging problems, a lot of world-first problems. And because I got exposed to that opportunity, I was able to think of solutions and work on those problems. And hence got a lot of IPs, a lot of patents that I'm proud of even today. Very recently, Samsung launched this electronic ring, if you may be aware. I'm an inventor on that patent. Okay? So technology is a part of my life. And then, spending around 4 years in Samsung as a technology person, as an engineer, I got a chance to do my MBA at Harvard Business School. Now, studying in Asia, where I was becoming a great professional at solving the problem, when I went to the US, the way of learning was very different. That the teacher would come to the class and say, "What do you think? What do you think?" And I was like, I came here to learn that, and you cannot ask me what do I think. You tell me what you think, right? But very soon I realized it is those moments of asking the right questions that take you far. If you ask the right questions. So in Asia, when I was studying in India, in Korea, I became a great problem solver. I could solve any problem. But when I went to the US, the thing I learned was how to ask the right questions. And after my MBA, I came back to work in Samsung, where I spent 4 years as an engineer, and after my MBA, around 5 more years as a marketing person, as a planning person, as a strategist. And I used to ask a lot of questions. Unlike before, in my first stint at Samsung, I used to solve the problems. In my second stint at Samsung, I became very good at asking questions. So of course, I asked questions to understand what can Samsung do better, but I also asked questions to myself. How do I leverage my expertise in technology? How do I leverage my expertise in technology and my passion for education to create something that makes this world a better place? My question was, how do I leverage technology, my expertise in technology, and my passion for education to create something awesome and create something that is global? That is why and how TagHive was born. So TagHive today is an education-focused, AI-first technology company that is aiming at making sure that all students learn in a very, very engaging manner. I'll tell you more about TagHive and what we do in bursts through videos and stories in a moment. But at the outset, TagHive is a 7-year-old company, and today our solution is making impact in around 8,000 classrooms in India, in Korea, and other parts of the world. In the audience today, I'm told that there are a lot of folks who are passionate about education. So I would love to engage with you all post this session, or we have a booth as well in the exhibition arena. We can meet there. My team is sitting here. Our team is all here. They're sitting here. They'll respond to your questions. They'll see you the demo. And I hope we can take this journey forward. Okay? Now today, this is my introduction. Today the focus will be on trying to show you the intersection of technology, empathy, and education. Okay? We'll show you that. Let me, first of all, tell you what an alchemy is. Honestly, when I was thinking about the topic, I did not even know what alchemy is. So alchemy, as I learned through the process of preparing for this keynote, I realized that alchemy is a transformation. In the old days, we used to have alchemists who could turn base metals into gold through some chemical processes. They would put something, and a base metal becomes gold. As I told you, I come from a small village in India. How can a village boy from India come to Korea and give a keynote speech here? Something must have happened. That is the alchemy of education, and for me particularly. And I think I have been lucky to go through a journey, and I think technology these days, especially AI, can really be that agent that can transform change for most of us. Are you excited? Yeah. Awesome. So let me dive into the second part of our presentation. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So the first piece is the idea of empathy. What is empathy? Like these days, we are focused so much on technology that we don't really care about empathy. I think empathy, people say, oh, it's nice to have. It's good to have, you know. I understand what empathy is. I'll be careful. I'll be mindful. But I think, in my journey as a technologist, as an entrepreneur, I have found that empathy is an essential element in education. What does empathy mean? It means understanding the other side. I have a lot of stories to share where a teacher is teaching something and a student is not following through. Why? Is the student weak? Does the student not want to learn? There are a lot of reasons. If the teachers try to ask the right questions and uncover the truth, I'm sure students will become better. And we have a lot of stories to share in a moment. The most important thing that I have learned about empathy is that it builds trust between teachers and students. Students feel that they can trust the teachers. Very recently, my daughter was getting scolded by my wife. Why are you not doing your homework? Why are you not submitting your homework on the channel that we have where teachers can grade? She will just not do it. And then I asked my daughter. I bought some ice cream to her, and I told her, why? You already finished the homework. You just upload it on the system, and then your mom will not scold you. She said, Dad, you don't know. If I upload the homework right now, I'll get another homework. Right away. So, now I realized. So that is empathy, to some extent. You uncover the truth. Why is she not doing it? Right? So that is kind of, I found that I bought the ice cream to her. I bought an ice cream for her. We built trust. We connected. And then we could learn more about what she thinks. Because everybody has a reason for doing or not doing things. Right? And if there is no empathy, I think anything, in our case, education, can become transactional. It will just be transactional. You're coming to the school, you're paying your fees, teachers are getting paid, they're teaching something, and no more. I think it will not be an effective use of our time for both the parties. Now, let me tell you a quick story about an empathy case that I saw. There's a teacher in India that I got to meet. His name is Mr. Rajesh. In this picture, I put Mr. Rajesh here. And there's a student called Ramesh. So Mr. Rajesh finds that Ramesh is not doing great in classrooms. After the the class time is over, post-school, Mr. Rajesh, the teacher, used to ask the student to stay behind and do more lessons. But it was not working out. So one day, so I was also there, and I discussed with him. He said, "So students are not learning. Not only this one student, but the entire class is behaving like that. They don't really pay attention. They don't really understand." Then I told Mr. Rajesh, I have 2 kids, and maybe I can help you. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Can I give you a tip?" He said, "What?" I said, "Why don't you talk to the student outside the school? Just go and take a walk with him and just talk to him." And then we realized that at his home, the conditions are not so good to learn. The lights go off, and he cannot focus on he cannot really study. And most of the students cannot prepare well for the tests next day, and they feel nervous. But they cannot share that story with the teacher right away, because it feels a little bit embarrassing at times. But asking those questions, then the teacher said, "Okay, I understand you cannot study at home." So the teacher stopped giving homeworks right away and said, "Okay, we'll only do what we do in the class, after the class, and that's all." So that empathy that teacher showed in the class, not only for that one student, Ramesh, but for all the students, by not giving homework, was a very powerful one. In fact, it came to the point where when the students started asking, "Sir, can you give me some more extra practice lessons?" This is how we transformed the journey of a student from not doing at all anything, from asking homeworks right now. So it takes time. We build empathy, and I think empathy is the most important piece. Once we have empathy in place, the technology piece is very easy. Okay, I already shared this with you. So this is how it was before. The students were like, "Oh, what to do with the homework?" And then after that, they were like paying attention in the class and very, very engaged. I realized that as and when I met more and more students, in fact, I'm a technologist. As I told you, I worked on the flat panel displays, I worked on the ring, the smart ring. I started valuing the dimension of empathy much more. Even when I build technology, the idea is not to build technology for the purpose of building something, the idea of building technology is to help the stakeholders have more empathy. Right? And how do you have empathy? You have empathy if you have the right technology that can tell you more about the student. We always say data is the new oil, right? Data is important. What is data? Data is the unit of empathy. Does it make sense? Data is the unit of empathy. If you have the right set of data, you can actually work to understand the student better and work to make sure that the student becomes better. So we are on our journey to do that. So let me shift our focus now from empathy. I think I made a very strong case for empathy. And empathy is important. If we have empathy, students will learn better, teachers will perhaps be more empowered and do more in less time. Now let's shift gears and go to technology piece. Now, technology, and technology is a very, very broad term. I'll try to keep our focus in the space of education, okay? There's no doubt that technology has revolutionized education in countless ways. And in the early days of education, 1.0, the focus was on broadcasting knowledge. 1.0, long time back, 100 years ago. In colonial years, we used to have wooden paddles. You see this thing here? Okay, this is the left photo. These are wooden paddles. They were used with printed lessons, and they were called horn books. That was used in the early days to transfer knowledge. It was broadcasting. And they were used. And then after that, we had magic lantern as well. That projector you see here, that was called magic lantern. So we had a lot of technologies that we have completely forgotten or we just ignore them. But the education field has seen these technologies, and then the radio came. A lot of things have happened, but the focus was on broadcasting, right? I know something, I tell the students, and they will learn on their own. And then, as technology evolved, we moved to 2.0, as I say, which was more of interactive learning. It was about engagement, one-to-one engagement. By 1980s, laptops became available, giving students and teachers more power to digital transformation at the individual level. And in 1991, smart boards got introduced into classrooms. Around 35 years ago, smart boards got introduced into classrooms, and they offered much more rich experience. And after that, the next revolution of the internet came, which really changed the way we learned in the classrooms. Now, fast forward to 2012, we started having tablets in the classroom. Each student is having a tablet of his or her own, and they were learning as they needed to learn at their own pace. And today, we are in the age of personalized education. This is how the shift has happened. And this is all with technology. Right? We moved from broadcasting to interactive, where it's one-to-one, and now it's personalized. And we told you, we are an AI-first company. We believe in the power of AI. Why? Because AI can really understand the data and be that anchor of empathy that we are asking for. So every student receives personalized learning. And I'm very excited, honestly, of how the things will unfold in the future. These days, if you go to classes, even Korea is talking about AIDT, the AI-based digital textbook. They say that if you have 5 million students, you will have 5 million textbooks, right? So all those innovations are happening right now. I'm very, very excited to see how the future unfolds. In fact, after the COVID, even the teachers have become much more accepting of new technologies in the classroom. I think this era of AI is characterized by the seamless integration of technology that not only supports the educational journey of every student, But more importantly, it makes it inclusive. In education world, we talk about equity, we talk about equality. I think with technology, such as AI, equity becomes a very, very powerful possibility. Because students now learn at their own pace. Those who need to learn more, they can spend more time and learn and become better and come at pace with the entire class. But here is the catch. Technology alone, I think, is not enough. It needs to be used in a way that complements the teacher and the human connection. That is why we say AI cannot replace the teachers. AI will never replace the teachers. It will only make the teacher more powerful. Hence, it is upon us as technologists and as educators to build something that teachers can understand easily. So when we build products, we ensure that our products are very easy to understand. Okay? Now, I'll give you a quick story of another school in another state, but I thought that because of the AI becoming so popular these days, I want to show you the latest in the industry that we are working on. So in Korea, we have this AIDT, which is the AI-based digital textbook. So if there are 5 million students in the country, you will have 5 million textbooks. We went a little bit ahead and said, okay, what do teachers do? They also give homeworks, isn't it? So teachers give homework. What do teachers do? They give one homework to 40 students or one homework to 100 students. How about if the teacher can give personalized homework to every child? For example, so if you have 5 million students, every day you can have 5 million homeworks. Okay? I'll show you that through a video. Our product is called, oh, it's too loud. Nice. Did you enjoy this? This is a new possibility. So if you're having a class or school, imagine this to happen. Every student gets personalized homework. And I want to request you all to give an applause to my team here, which has built this. Okay? We have a team of 60 people. We have a team of 10 people in South Korea and a team of 50 people in India. So we work relentlessly day and night to ensure that we are able to perfect this experience. And we're doing this. A lot of students are benefiting from this. In fact, a lot of schools in India are finding it very, very useful to use this personalized homework because it makes their job so easy. They can cater to each student as if they had empathy. Because empathy requires time. Right? I told you about data being the unit of empathy. Because we have so much of data about the students' learning performances, we can use that data to be more personable to each student. And that is what our AI system does. I think technology in education can be really transformative. Every student in the classroom feels heard and supported. Unlike before, when the backbenchers were not paying attention, nowadays every child is the front bencher because every child is getting the attention that he or she needs. The example that I gave you right now about the personalized homework is a perfect example of how we can use empathy and technology to really empower education in a very effective manner. I think technology in education should be just a means to an end. It should be a means to an end and not an end in itself. When we use technology to foster human connection, here in this case we are using technology to foster the teacher and the student connection. Isn't it? When we use technology to foster connections and understanding, we create a learning environment where all can thrive. When I was a student, long time back, someone asked me, what is a good school? Is a good school one where you have good campuses? Is good school a one where you have good teachers? Is good school one where you pay more money? Is good school one where you have very good students? I think it's a combination, and if we have to summarize in one word, a good school is one where you have a good learning environment. Because students come to learn, teachers come to teach. So I think a good school is one where we can have a great learning environment, and technology can be that enabler to do that. Okay, and so I showed you the snippet of our AI piece. I wanted to show you how we have built empathy and technology to really empower education. So our product is called Class Sathi. Sathi is a Hindi word which means a friend. And who is a friend? A friend is one who understands you. So again, recall empathy, right? So we built the idea of empathy in the product. So we have this product called Class Sathi, which you can also experience in the booth that we have there. What Sathi does, it ensures that every child is learning. What we do is, we give these clickers you see, the remotes, to each child. And when a teacher has taught something in the class, the teacher can ask a quick formative question. In this case, what is the largest planet in the solar system? Every student responds. Teachers will know in real time how many students responded and how many did not respond. Isn't that powerful? Every child responds in the class. That is the first step to making learning interactive and engaging, because you are having every child press their button on the Sathi remote control. And students and teachers can see, you can see there on the top left, the blue bars and the pink bars. The blue bars are those students who gave the right answer. And the pink bar represents the students who gave the wrong answer. So teachers know in real time how many students understood what I just taught. So as a teacher, I feel at ease, or I feel more informed whether I should teach more on the same topic or I can comfortably go to the next topic. Isn't that empowerment of teachers? This is what we do. And the best part is, all this gets saved. And over time, teachers can also analyze each student's journey, how the students have done. And then this data can also be used to personalize homework for each child. You can experience this in the exhibition booth that we have. I'll skip this piece and move forward to the next level. This is the video that I'll show you to share how Class Sathi, our product, is making noise in the classrooms around the world. Please, when you see the video here, try to focus on the idea of technology and empathy. So I'll play the video. It's a minute long. Please watch this.
With more than 250 million students in India, the education system often faces continuous challenges like gaps in learning outcomes, in-class engagement between teachers and students, and many administrative responsibilities. In the past 6 years of our work at Class Sathi, we have recognized the need for innovative and interactive technology solutions to address these challenges. Class Sathi, our flagship solution, offers your school the ideal catalyst that complements your existing infrastructure and enhances the teaching and learning experience in the classroom. With real-time feedback and seamless integration, Class Sathi combines a clicker for each student, a teacher clicker, and interactive classroom software to instantly engage, assess, analyze, and remediate students. Using Class Sathi, teachers are enabled with instant feedback, thus allowing them to identify and address the learning gaps for each student quickly. Since the whole class responds with Class Sathi's innovative and unbreakable Bluetooth clickers, in-class engagement is always 100%, thus leaving no student behind. From an independent report, we recorded that Class Sathi brings down the ease of executing assessments by more than 85%, giving teachers focused time to perform in-depth topic remediations and revision. This had led to an almost 3-fold increase in learning outcomes.
Help me to answer the question, Srini. within the 60 seconds we have to answer it. So in exam time also we have to manage it.
I think it is crystal clear for the kids as well as the teachers as well. And by this app, I think the analysis of the students can be analyzed very clearly. Based on that, we can classify the students into like below average, above average, and the toppers, and the classes can be taken.
So nowadays everything is digitalized. So I think it is the best option for my students as well as the teachers to improvise the below average students and to take up to their, improve their skills and take the students to their greater heights. And one more thing what I felt is in this class, Sati, the students, they learn the time management.
Through this collaboration, your school can position itself as a school with a competitive edge that offers personalized, engaging learning experiences and a complete education solution to students and their parents. Choose Class Sathi because together, we are better.
So you saw in the video that this is the remote that was with the students. It's a handheld device, very easy, never breaks. We've done a lot of research in the space of education, and our criteria of building the product was that we should build something that is maintenance-free, that does not require maintenance, and we build something that doesn't have a user manual, that doesn't require a user manual. So we have looked at those criteria and built this. And the best part about our product, our platform, again, keeping empathy in mind, is that it works even without internet in classrooms. Because most classrooms tell us that we need solutions that work without internet, and we enable that possibility. So technology, we have built technology keeping empathy at the center. Some people keep technology in the center, and empathy is just adding to that, but we kept empathy in the center, and we're building technologies to ensure that empathy is taken care of. Now, my question to you is, again, why do you think this idea of clickers, this idea of having every child involved is so powerful? Why? Why? Because if every child is performing in the class, as a team, you really want to become better. As a teacher, I also feel less guilty of not taking care of few students sitting at the back. As a student, I feel more responsible now to come prepared to the class. So those things happen through this technology. And we have seen that. We have a lot of stories to share on that. Now, in technology, for education, there's a very important aspect. And that aspect is, so what? You build technologies for classrooms or for anything, but people say, so what? In education, particularly, the so what is, did the students become better with your product? Did the teachers feel more empowered? How do you measure that? How do you quantify that? So we did a study, and we found that the density of the students and the exam score is something like this for schools that did not use Class Sathi, the empathetic teaching tool. This is the score. So you see the score go from 20 to 80, the score of students, right? This is a typical classroom. Now, we found that with Class Sathi, the scores shifted to the right. Whenever I see this graph, I have goosebumps. How is that possible? You see a couple of things here. One is that the minimum score of the student is now 40. No student scores below 40 in the schools where our solution is deployed. We have shown the case for empathy now, that if you understand the students well, they will perform better. Of course, good students also do good, but the problem with today's technology, most technologies, is that, as Bill Gates very recently told, that most technologies in education cater for motivated students, not for struggling students. Do you get that? Most technologies in education are geared or made for good students. Very few technologies really are made for struggling students. In our case, we ensured that we are also caring for struggling students. And if we do that, the alchemy can happen. Just it happened to me. Those students who'd otherwise get out of the ecosystem of education will continue to stay. They'll continue to come to school because they are motivated now, they're getting better scores, and they will one day transform their lives and the lives of people around themselves to a much better one. So we've seen that, and we are very excited about the possibilities of creating empathy with the right technology in the classrooms. Now, this takes us to the broader picture, the critical connection between science, literacy, and societal inclusion. You know, we see everywhere link, the Aspac's theme is the link, connection to empathy or connection with empathy, right? Now, education, as I feel, as I have seen in my journey, isn't just about academic achievements. Most people say, oh, I came first in the class, I scored top in the class. Education is not just about academic achievements, it's about empowering individuals to contribute meaningfully to the society and to the people around them. That is the purpose of education. If we have that purpose built into our system, I'm sure our students will do much better. Now, science literacy, in particular, plays a very, very crucial role in empowerment. The idea of science literacy, if our students are better in science, they'll perhaps be adding more value, or perhaps value to society. That's why we have this museum where you can see different prototypes and understand how different things work around the world. When individuals understand scientific concepts, they can make much more informed decisions. If they understand concepts, they can make better decisions, engage with societal issues, and contribute to the community well-being. Science literacy is more than just knowing facts, like what is the largest planet, or is the Earth flat or round. It's more than just knowing the facts. It's about understanding how the world works. Why does the apple fall down? If you drop an apple and an orange together, will it fall at the same time? Understanding the concepts in real life and being able to apply that knowledge in everyday life. That is science literacy, that is education, as I see. I think it helps people think critically and not only then solve the problem, but then also ask the right questions. As I told you earlier, solving a problem is one part of the equation, but asking the right questions to solve is a very, very important part of the equation, and it will become more important going forward in this age of AI, because ChatGPT has the answers. It does not have the questions. You have to ask the right questions to get the responses you want. So asking the right questions become very critical, and if your mind is ready to handle those critically difficult questions to solve, you can ask better questions. I think these skills of critical thinking will drive societal progress and create a much more inclusive and engaged community. Now let me share with you an example, a case in point. I'll tell you about this, but before I play the video, I'll tell you a story from a small village in a state of Karnataka in India. A small village in Karnataka, where we introduced Class Sathi to a local school. And there are students, many of whom come from farming families. Their parents are farmers. Their grandparents were farmers. And they always struggled with science. For them, science felt distant. For the village boys, the village community, the idea of science felt distant and to some extent irrelevant. Why? Why science? A subject that they did not really have to care about much in their daily lives, that's what they thought. And as a result, they were very disengaged, and they saw no reason to pursue science. The students in the school would not pursue science. They felt it's not relevant. I would just do basic math and I'll be fine. But after we introduced the idea of Sathi Tutor, we saw something remarkable. I'll tell you what happened after I play this video. So the idea was now students can ask questions. Students are generally shy to ask questions to the teachers, isn't it? They'll say, oh, the teachers will judge me, so I'll not ask questions. But in our platform, we enable the idea of asking questions. And you can ask any question. The best part is because we have so much of data about students' learning profiles, we can provide a personalized experience on each child. And when we did that in that village boys' school, we found something remarkable. The interactivity and real-time feedback that our class Sathi provided, help students understand daily concepts and also apply those concepts to some extent. They felt that they had a friend now, a Sathi now, who could help those students learn more and at ease without any pressure. They started talking about photosynthesis, for example. They say, I'm learning about photosynthesis right now. What is photosynthesis? What does it mean? And they began to see the link between the crops that they cultivated and the science behind that. Because crops work on the principle of photosynthesis, so they started understanding what it means and how they can make it better. The newfound understanding that they got, it sparked curiosity for more information, for more questions, and that brought enthusiasm in the subject of science. Now, one student here in the picture, Raju, who had previously been indifferent to school and to science, started to excel in science. Initially, this student Raju in the center, he was very indifferent. I don't care about science. Now, suddenly, after the tutor was launched, he became very, very excited about science. He got a new confidence. Technology provided that confidence through Sathi. And now the student was participating in class discussions more. Teachers automatically transformed their role from being a sage on the stage to becoming a guide on the side. They were initially, teachers would come, they would teach, but now teachers became facilitators. They were becoming more of a guide to help students understand better. So we saw that transformation happen. And we realized that now Raju was scoring perfectly okay scores in exams. So earlier we talked about schooling and education being about academic achievement. Academic achievement is a given if you are understanding and you're applying daily concepts that you are learning in life, in the school. We found that the village boy, Raju, he felt very empowered, his family felt empowered, and they became very, very active participants in the community's future planning. We should do this, we should do that, because this is how it works. So all that engagement started to happen because now they felt that they had something in their hands that they could use as a magic wand to ask any questions and get personalized responses. So by bridging the gap between science literacy and their everyday lives, we helped create an inclusive and much more engaged community. Are we together so far? So I'll just pause for a moment. We talked a lot about empathy in the beginning. We talked a lot about technology as a way to provide that empathy. And I shared a couple of stories with you. The homework piece, the tutor piece, the idea of science literacy becoming so powerful. And there's one piece that I thought I'll tell you about the future of science education. And before I do that, I want to do a magical performance. Are you excited? So I'm also a magician. I'm a professional magician. I don't perform these days because it's too busy. Life is also giving me a lot of surprises, so I'm trying to just take it as it comes. And a famous technologist said that any good technology is no different from magic, isn't it? Any good technology is no different from magic. If I can take my phone and talk to my father in India, it's actually magic, isn't it? But it is all enabled through technology. So when you build technology, of course you look at empathy as an important metric, but then you also depend on your imagination. Because if you can imagine certain things, you can build the right technology for that imagination. Case in point, go 300 years before today, like go to 1600s or 1700s. If somebody told, hey, I can talk to somebody 1,000 kilometers away over the phone, it would be a crazy idea, isn't it? 1600s, 1700s, there were no phones. It was impossible. Somebody would say, hey, I want to fly long distances. I want to get from New York to London in 6 hours. Crazy idea. It used to take 6 months or whatever, right, through the ship, if they had some. But people imagined. People started asking questions. Is it possible? So that idea of imagination is so powerful, it can really unlock a lot of possibilities. So on that note, I have a magic performance, and whenever I perform, I'm actually very scared and nervous because a lot of things go wrong. I hope today it will be fine. So my magic thing is there. I'll go there, okay? Applause, please. Thank you so much. So, I think I've been practicing magic for last 10 years, and the reason I became a magician was because I felt that there's so much strong connection between technology and magic. So when you learn magic, you become much more observant. You start asking questions. You start testing assumptions. Can a table fly? Yes, it can if you do this, right? And I always say, when you do magic, when you see the magic, it's also about asking not the how, but what really wowed the customers, the people that saw the magic. And you depend on those, because people is people, right, at the end. If you can wow them with this magic, you can also wow them with technology if you hit the right chord. And that is why I learned magic, and I perform at times, but I feel that we can really draw a lot of inspiration from magic. I was introduced to magic in 2012 by a famous magician in the US when I was at for my MBA program at the Harvard Business School. There was a magician who came to our class. I got inspired, and then I became a very big fan of David Copperfield. I went to his shows in the US, watched him multiple times to really see how he does things, but then I realized it's not about the tricks. It's about asking the right questions. It's about imagining the future and making that possible. So we've done that. And I really urge the audience as well to think about new possibilities. For me, magic is the outlet to think of those new possibilities. And looking into the future, I feel that we should create a world. We are here in this great community, and it is upon us to envision a world where education is accessible to all, education is powered by right technology, and it is grounded in empathy. If we have these three elements, I think we are building something that will really empower education in the future and make this world a better place. But this vision goes beyond technology. It is about creating a global classroom where every student, regardless of their background and race, has the opportunity to succeed, and we enable that. In fact, our journey at TagHive and our product Class Sathi, we are trying to stay ahead of the curve and thinking hard, what do students need more? How can we be relevant today and in the next 5 years, next 10 years, and make our system more user-friendly, more powerful, more personalized? So my call to action for all the folks in the audience is that we ask ourselves this question: what can we do today? What can we do today to move towards the future? The first thing we can do is to encourage all educators to embrace the power of technology, to embrace the power of empathy in their teaching. We urge the teachers to look for ways to make their classrooms more inclusive and more engaging. That is the first call to action that I want to leave you with. And second, I want you to talk to us, explore ways we can collaborate, because educators need partners such as us to talk and discuss how we can work together and make something nice possible. In closing, I want to just thank you all once again for your time and your attention. As I told you, this is my 20th year in Korea. And it's an honor and a special privilege, and I want to thank ma'am for inviting me. Honestly, I'm yet to get there where I can come here and speak, but ma'am found or saw something in me and invited me to be here. So it's really an honor, and thank you so much, ma'am, for having me. I hope I did justice to the keynote. And I really feel that we have talked about the intersection of science, technology, empathy, and how we can use that to transform education. As we move forward, these are my closing remarks, as we move forward, let's remember that each one of us in the room holds the power to shape the future. Each one of us holds the power to shape the future of classrooms and education. By embracing innovation and fostering human connections, we can create classrooms and learning experiences that don't just teach, but inspire. We have the opportunity today to make education not only a pathway to knowledge, but a catalyst for personal growth, community building, and societal change. I look forward to connecting with many of you post this session, and I want to take this conversation forward. You see my LinkedIn profile here. I'm also very active on LinkedIn. Please do reach out to me if you have any questions, if you want to explore more. And I think together, we can really conjure a future where education is as magical as it is meaningful, where every student feels valued, where learning becomes a lifelong journey of discovery and empowerment. Let's just not dream of a better future for education. Let's create it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your wonderful keynote speech. Why don't you give him a big round of applause one more time? Yeah, thank you very much for your attention. And we hope that Aspac 2024, which begins today and run through September 7, will be an opportunity for all of us to grow and develop further through empathy and communication. Your participation and enthusiasm will make this event more meaningful.